You know, LESA started 20 years ago, and we just are in the middle of celebrating its 20th anniversary. And I was looking back at some of the old numbers, and our beginning was, the essence of our beginning was not only to support our educators and our principals in our schools, but was also to bring more children to hear the word of Christ, and was to help especially in the inner cities with those churches. So in looking back, we gave away $72,000 that first year, which I guess 20 years ago, that was a lot of money. It's a lot of money now, but this year it was $570,000. And so that speaks to the movement, the gravity of what an endowment can do. We have 33 family endowment funds, people who have reached out, created endowment funds, and created a legacy that'll last forever to support scholarships and funding education.
As the time for Michelle and I in St. Louis as administrators and teachers, as we got closer and closer to our retirement age, 3, 4, 5 years out there, we wanted to find a way to continue to impact Lutheran Christian education here in St. Louis, because our days are going to be done with day-to-day operations and things like that. And so how could we continue ministries and so forth? And so it was a very simple answer to the question, not a lot of discussion, but it was, let's start a scholarship with the LESA organization and make money and resources available to them for decades to come to help make sure that students and families who want to come to a Lutheran school can get there, and finances not be the reason. So Michelle and I, we made the decision, but we never really acted on it. And so we continued to do our ministries, but God chose to take Michelle home to be with Him. And so that expedited my response to the decision we already made to make this happen. And so I couldn't think of a better way to, one, continue to do the decision we already had put into place, but to honor her ministry in what she has done here in St. Louis, than to start the Michelle Eggold Memorial Scholarship Fund. There's joy in my heart, there's peace, there's excitement that even though my days are done on the day-to-day operations of schools and trying to help families and students with a Christian education, that there'll be funds available and gives those resources to an organization that can reach 30+ schools, and making sure that finances are not a reason to keep somebody out of their school.
I see the transformation that has and is occurring in LESA more of an adaptation than a transformation. I think LESA's mission has always been pretty clear, that it exists to support the elementary schools, the Lutheran elementary schools, and to provide support for parents who are looking for a Lutheran-based Christian education. But what we've seen over the past few years is two things, at least that I can think of off the top of my head. One is an increase in demand, part of which I think was driven by the pandemic and people looking for alternatives and finding those alternatives in the Lutheran system and hoping to stay, which has increased demand for LESA to help in many more cases than we used to.
You know, 20 years ago, our first pool of applicants, we had 100. And from that 100, we are now reviewing over 1,000 to 1,200 applications a year. So this past year, we awarded 670 scholarships. There were 400 applicants that we could not fulfill. We just didn't have the funds for it. And that just speaks to the ongoing need that our schools have and our families have.
LESA has a big impact on our school. Our school provides $100,000 or more in tuition assistance a year, and LESA typically gives us about $30,000 because the families apply for it, and and go through the process. So it's a huge impact financially to our school, but mostly it gives us the opportunity to accept more children who would not otherwise be able to afford to come to our school. One of the biggest impacts that LESA has had through their tuition assistance was for one family in particular, that the children were being raised by their grandmother at the time, and they were in a situation where they might not have had access to Lutheran education and would have been in public schools, and the grandma was very thankful that we were an invitation to invite them into the church and to just show them unconditional love, which we did for many years. The grandma is now a member of our church, and she brings them back to our church whenever they can. They come back to our church and worship with us.
Looking back, what prompted us to apply for a LESA scholarship is that we just moved back to St. Louis from Southern California, and during that transition we had pulled our children out of public school while in California because of the changes. And when we came to St. Louis, it was really important for us to make sure the children had a foundation in which they would be accepted in the school, and then also be able to grow from that in a Christ-like setting. It's been fabulous so far. Well, the greatest impact is their relationship with Jesus. It's been a solid education foundation for them. They've been provided some great education skills, but in the long run, it's their salvation I'm really concerned about. And through Abiding Savior and through Lutheran schools, they have received that foundation to build upon and to experience with like-minded students.
I believe that part of our calling as a response to Jesus' command to love God and love one another is being echoed and amplified these days. And I think, I'm hoping anyway, that LESA's participation in answering that call and that command to show that love through how we support families and students and teachers in the elementary school system.
So God has blessed this ministry, and He has blessed the people who have been a part of it, who have donated to it. He's blessed our students, our schools, from the gifts that have come to it. And the next 20 years, I'm not sure what God has in mind. Education continues to be an important part of any child's upbringing, and we believe that the Lutheran Church and this Lutheran school system will continue to play a vital part in our community, especially in the St. Louis community.
I learned about God, that He's with us and He forgave us even though we didn't deserve it, and that He can always be our friend.